Okay, we're trying to make this recording really quickly. First, I want to say that God said that in the thunderings, that I'm not a whore. The whole world knows I'm not a whore. And it said so. We just want to let you know. We told you that many years ago when God thundered that in Athens. Okay, so we just want to explain that to you too again on the Shabbat, and we want to let you know that. Now, we want to tell you something that there was a woman that was bothering our one of our relatives in Saudi Arabia, and he kept telling her, go away, you had a wife, leave her alone. We told you about the women that try to come and try to mess with our men and try to steal money for their American government and things like that, and they're bad Nazi Germany people. And she wouldn't leave him alone, so she took a syringe and she stabbed him in the arm, and he got AIDS. Nobody knew what it was. And so then she decided she didn't want to bother him anymore, but everybody knew she'd been really sick and nobody knew what it was, so we took her back to Saudi Arabia. And the woman kept saying, she said, well, she didn't want to go, and Abado King Tariq outside said, oh, but you're going back, like that. And all the people around, except for I didn't know, even my husband said it, they said, you're going to get your head cut off. We were in Turkey when this happened. You're going to get your head cut off. And everybody kept telling her that, men and women, and my husband knew. But when we got back to Saudi Arabia, then there's a picture up on the internet. And then we did a test to find out what was wrong, and because she made our relative got really sick really fast, visited, and so then so they painted her face and in rainbow colors like the whore that she was, and one of our big rooms in the palace doesn't have anything in there, and they came in, the henchman came in, the headman, he had a bag over his head and one of those axes you see in the cartoons, and he dragged her, and she said, what is it, some kind of ceremony? He said, yeah, cutting off head ceremony. And he drug her out, and her eyes were bugging out of her head. And then he turned to me and said, if you're bad, I'll cut your head off too. So we don't take bad things. And all these harlot women tell all these lies, and the homosexual men with them. We don't accept things like that. The woman was really rotten, okay, and she wouldn't go away. And all those women come bothering us, and they came to try to hurt us and try to steal our things for their dirty people. So this is what happened. So then the American government kept calling. They kept calling everybody to hang up on them. So one day our beloved Abado King Tariq Assad answered the phone. He said, now look, he said, don't call her anymore. She gave somebody a fatal disease. We cut her head off. She's dead. And then he hung up. So we don't take dirty people. We don't take whores or homos or any other bad things, or people are blasphemous and do dirty things. We never saw people like this until they start coming to bother us. So everybody knows in Saudi Arabia they don't take multiple wives anymore. This is it, and everybody's glad that they take their husbands and wives for all eternity. So we're going to check that too. The people that did these things to us are really bad and tried to start wars because we wouldn't take their dirty people, and they could, like Dinah, the story of Dinah. The bottom line of the story of Dinah is that people came and they tried to. She was going to visit the women of the daughters of the land that day. The daughters of the land were involved in Dinah's rape. She was raped. A man saw her and raped her, but she was going to visit those daughters. Okay, it's not funny because these women are trying to overtalk me, and it's wrong. So in the annals of the kings, they killed the women because they're responsible. Okay, so it's like now. Okay, so when they were in the story. The men were guiley. They go, well, if we could get this woman, then all our daughters can take their sons, and their sons can take their daughters, and we'll have all their money. Because that's the bottom line of Dinah, like they are now. And so they go short. So then Levi and Simeon, they were really angry. And they said, okay. And so, but you have to be circumcised. And even if it was now, you still have to be circumcised. You have to have some kind of ritual blood. So, because anybody can do that. So when they were healing from that, they killed them all because we're not whores. The same thing now. When people attacked us and the women did things to us, tried to get their men to attack us, they said because they wanted to they wanted to make us look bad, and they wanted to steal all of our things because we go to our marriage beds as virgins. And my husband and I went to our marriage bed as both virgins and worked with anybody except each other after we're married to each other. That's the way we do things. So basically, these people are really criminal, and so it's the same thing with the story of Dinah. They came and tried to steal money, and the bottom line is we're not whores. But the people that came after us, they were terrible. Okay, our beloved royal Saudi family they've always been Jewish. We're the first visible king and queen that are Jewish from Saudi Arabia. We're the tribe of Judah. our beloved royal family of Saudi Arabia, and everybody knows that they're Jewish, the Levites, in the story of Dinah, Levi and Simeon. And that's all I want to say. And they attacked all of us, bad people tried to hurt us all, and did terrible things, and they're still trying to do things, and they're nothing but bad people. My husband's mother is considered Saudi, she's considered Swiss, she's Israeli, and she has Russian blood, and she's Yemenite. I have a little bit more in me, I'm like my husband's mother. But the women that attacked us, the Colin Powell, American people, with Nazi Germany people, and Aliyah people, did that, attacked us, did a terrible thing because we're trying to get things. They said, and all the mistakes, so the women are responsible, just like the men. They tried to take our things, and they're still like that now. Like the story of Dinah. The Annals of King revealed the fact that she went to go visit the daughters of land, and we took them someplace and got rid of them because they caused the rape of Dinah. And when the rabbis saw the Annals of King, they said, we knew they wouldn't take those women, what they caused to happen to ours. But that's it. They're still the same. They're really trouble. They lie about everything. Turkey says they bother everybody and they lie about everything. The Bible told us all. This is what we're trying to say too. Okay, now try to save Lord. We'll talk to you later. But I wanted to tell you those things just now. We don't do bad things. And we're the king and queen of all our things. And don't think if we weren't bad, they wouldn't cut our heads off. Because they was really, I was like, I just look, well, we know you're like that because you're trying to teach us how to be so we can be strong and not have bad population among our people. We are not to make ourselves dirty, and we will not let our people get dirty either. So we're just doing that too, again. Now try to be careful, love, and talk to you as soon as we can. And everybody wanted me to speak to you today about that. All our beloved royal family and kinspeople obviously wanted me to speak that to you. Okay, now, because we're good. We don't mix. We don't go outside of our family. We take our first cousins, and they said, and we know who we take. We're not taking some person that lied about their things and try to steal our identities. And people try to steal our identities, so they obviously knew they couldn't be each other. The terrible women are trying to talk over me. I'm talking to you on my own personal phone. They're terrible women that covet. I mean, they're not right, and nobody wants to hear from them, and nobody's bothering theirs. Like I saw something yesterday. They don't just bother me. I saw a woman bothering a man and his wife and their baby. One of these terrible women. It's incorrect. I said, I know they bother you because you told us that. She's not to tell somebody's husband what to do. The woman has her own husband, her own baby. They're just like disgusting. And they're not from here on the right things. So they try to meddle and do things. And so we just want to tell you. But no, we don't lie. We also don't accept liars. But that's it. So we just want to tell that too. They really told stories. And these women, if they had been, or from where they said they tried to lie about, they'd have been dead a long time ago because they're a bunch of harlots. They wouldn't be. And they do terrible things, just like the men with them. But they want to tell that too because they do bad things. Okay, so now try to be careful. We talk to you. We wanted to make this short recording, but we weren't able to because they're trying to talk over us, interfere. And they're into our time, and nobody bothers them. I was told the reason why they like that because nobody wants them. And they bother me. They harass, they do things. Their men do the same thing. Their men attack me verbally all night. Their men will try to kill us for it. Mom said, our beloved Rothschild's mom, Malkuti Nasika Judith, she said their men take who hasn't been as, they don't have anything, is basically what she was saying. And I was told by other royal family female members that their people tell them how to be terrible, the best whore. We don't do that. All they talk about is terrible, terrible things all the time. She's talking on me because she's something terrible. I'm talking to you. She's a terrible, terrible person that covets. She's after something that I have that's mine. They lose. And everybody knows that they're threatening me with all their threats, telling me it's my good night. They're terrible. They're not a Greek, telling me calling it some woman from another place that's not even Swiss, harassing me, that's trying to be in my place. It's wrong. And it's really wrong. And they're nothing. But I wanted to tell you that about that, okay? I was a little girl, I was like, I know, but we're good. We had to watch everything because Mosaic laws forever. We live for eternity. And because our laws for eternity. And so that means we live for eternity. We're not going to rescind or change our law to accommodate something that God says not to accept. A person who is prescribed for death, you are not to accept it. For the simple fact that it's prescribed, and if you have to help it, you're prescribed for death just like that. It's a prescription, and nobody can get him out of it. Like the things that they do. They're part animal, they're part human, and they covet and kill people and try to be for a crust of bread, and they worship other things other than God. That's prescription. And they do all kinds of, they're homosexuals and they're male and female. It's death sentence, all right? You go to death. They interfered in my family wanted me to make, and they're not my family. But they tried to tell lies and say all kinds of these people stalking it. They're not anybody that likes us because they stalk and they talk to me about a whore all the time. Or some other thing should be me. They're nothing that I accept or like. They're not correct. Oh, and by the way, they used to get after us all the time, always bothering us. They come over here, they harass us like they do, see the thunder and everything. They kept getting struck by rocks from heaven above. We're not space aliens. We believe in God. We worship God. Now everybody knows that we're fallen angels that fell and mixed with these things down here that think they're better. And their women also thought that they should be worshipped. You know, I saw on the internet the other day, they had the nerve to call Archangel Gabriel female. That's just how blasphemous these women are. Everybody knows this says the man of God, Gabriel, in the book of Daniel, or one of the books. They had the nerve to try to make it into a female. We saw that before. They're blasphemous and disgusting, as God calls them. And so we're going to tell that too. Their men are wicked and they're wicked. We're not the wicked. We're the good people live for eternity. We're the generation live for eternity. Everybody was at Mount Sinai, as is written. Those that were there the day when God gave the mitzvahs, and those that had left already, and those will come later. All of us, the generation that lives for eternity, that God has designated to be the ones that live for eternity, the number of people that God had designated to make, and we live for eternity. Not the things that Satan made. The things that Satan made will not be. Now you see how guilty these things were. The same as it was, it will be later too. They're guilty just like now, trying to force somebody to do bad things, and we're never going to do that. As I said, so we just want to tell that too. Okay, so now I'll try to be careful so I'm going to talk to you as we can. And my family won't even make this recording. And my beloved can speak, and our beloved family can speak, because we're together for all eternity, Shabby and I. And everybody takes our mate for all eternity. And nobody covets it. We don't have any coveters with us. Those aren't ours. There's somebody else that's trying to kill us and trying to take our things. God said, just everybody else that came to try to kill us. They're no different. Okay, now, try to be careful. Lord, we'll talk to you as soon as we can. And Shavua Tov again.